It was March 21st, 1998.
And then they come in and have you fill it with the glue?
And I was going to
No,
stay
I
at
have to take
Bradley's
it off.
house
I
while
take
they
it
were
off.
working.
I'll rip it off. I'm like, they're like, no, just leave it, just glue it. I'm like,
You know, taking care of the house.
I'm like, there. One girl's like, I can't afford like a fix. I'm like, I just do it. Like, your finger can fall off. It's not about like, it's just about like you can get sick. I don't know.
Yeah, you can get mold in your fingernails.
Yeah.
I loved being with Amy and Brad. It was
so
fun. We all had fun together all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people
They were
like
close
that.
in a way that made you want your family to be like that close.
When I picture my sister, I don't envision her as much different than
You pushed her off the boat. You got mad and you were like, thank you.
same sis I always did.
Siblings doing stuff like that too. So I don't put it past a sibling.
Brad actually.
Sister and parents like favorite one over the other.
Yeah, young dog.
Oh, no, I put it past her.
At the time, Brad was 21 years old, 2 years younger than Amy. Amy was 23, she was even older than me. She just got a new apartment, a new dog, so it was sort of like this family
That's
trip.
a cute dog. I always wanted one of those
Right
dogs.
before you start your big girl life.
But they breathe so weird.
Yeah?
They can't breathe at all. They have so many health problems. Yeah, because they're bred so small. Their face is just so like...
She seemed excited to go. I mean, you know, they all did. I just remember them pulling out of the driveway. I didn't realize that life was never going to be the same after that.
I was featured for Royal Caribbean for 20 years. I was chief director on the Rhapsody of the Seas. Hi folks, I'm Curacao, your chief director, and I'm Jesus. I'm a baby. This video was played at the beginning of the Welcome Aboard show. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you aboard the MS Rhapsody of the Seas. One of the largest and most beautiful cruise ships afloat. My job, the cruise director, is like the face of the ship. Every cruise is different. Get in the crowd every week. My soft
You just
spot was
wanted to
the
get
old
free
ladies.
cruises.
I would go dance with the old ladies. Oh my God, I have a granddaughter, you know. Straight climb to the right, straight climb to the left, 3 steps back, rock forward, rock back, steps turn, and start again. It was just a great life. I probably have 500 best friends that I work with, you know. I had a good time. This particular cruise was March of 1998, and I remember that cruise very well. We were doing 7-day cruises out of San Juan, and we did Aruba, Cherished, St. Martin, St. Thomas.
Yeah, you went on a cruise, didn't you? Go for your birthday?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was just really rocky.
trip in the world.
Normally they're more subtle, but this one was really like, it was a lot of,
They would run contests every year.
moving.
Particularly we were awarded with.
I got seasick.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
Now you're kind of stuck, so.
Yeah, you can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
But when we realized that they were going to actually let us bring Amy and Brad with us, we couldn't have been more thrilled. Of course, they would probably have liked to have had their own cabin being 21 or 23 years old, but it didn't work out that way. We did stop. Amy brought some postcards, and we picked up a dozen rolls of film.
Amy was taking pictures to enter a photo contest.
Horns were
Did
going
they even
off.
get the film?
We're leaving the dock.
I love a good film camera. You just snap
Yeah.
photos, put it away, and then develop it like 5 years from now.
There was a band playing typical kind of steel metal drum band.
talked about what we were going to do the next day on Curacao. We went on back on the ship.
I did this for Aaron. This is the boy. He was very, very tired. Had a hard day on the road.
That night, we were getting ready for dinner, and that was the formal night.
The photographer said that he wanted to take a picture of Amy. And Amy was standing there. He said, okay, now her and her boyfriend. Amy laughed and she said, that's not my boyfriend, that's my baby brother.
At the dinner table, the wait staff was
They do look alike a little bit.
attentive to Amy and kind of flirting a little bit. We actually went as far as to make jokes at the table, like, hey, if anybody needs anything, just tell them Amy wants it, it'll be here right away. Just after dinner, we went back to the room and, got out of our formal, went up to the pool deck, going out. The pool party started at 10 o'clock. It was like dancing under the stars or something like that, they called it. It almost seemed like everybody was up there. There was a limbo contest that somehow or another I ended up winning. The crown that I won when I won the limbo contest, I ended up putting it on Amy's head. The boat had left Aruba during the pool party at 1 a.m. At that point, Bob and I were tired, so we decided to call it a night. And we told Amy and Brad
Oh, no,
to
that was
go
stuff.
to bed.
Get your
And I said,
cuticles.
I love you. She said, I love you too, Mom. She said, I'll see you in the morning. I said, okay. And so we went to bed.
Oh, she got lost the first night?
Yeah, no, the second.
Oh.
Went up to the disco, but that was the
That's
last place that was open.
She was there. It was like
We were having drinks and listening to music and having a great time. We had a lot of fun together. I was walking out of the club. I motioned up to Amy, who was up in the upper level of the DJ booth area. It was like a round table where 4, 5, 6 people were sitting up there, and we kind of motioned at each other, and I said, I'm going to be out here. And so I go out, hanging out on the upper deck for a half hour or something like that, and then go back to my room. We all shared. My parents were sleeping. I went out onto the balcony. And about 5 minutes later, Mary came back to the room. And we're both kind of just finishing our drinks and hanging out talking about the next day. She brought up that someone she had been dancing and was talking to during the course of the evening made some sort of physical pass at her. She told me it was the bass player from the band. She didn't make a big deal of it, just kind of mentioned in passing. At that point, we were both tipsy, not crazy. I mean, I could tell it was time for bed. We were getting up pretty early the next morning, so I'm trying to get a few hours of sleep. She said, I don't feel too good. I'm going to sit right here with all the fresh air and wind. Told her I loved her. See her tomorrow. And shut the glass door behind me. And went to bed. I remember waking somewhere around 5:30 in the morning. Brad had come in and gone to bed, but I didn't see Amy in there. So I made sure that Amy was okay, and I saw her legs and her feet sitting in a lounge chair on the balcony. So I said, well, she's safe. And about 10 to 6 o'clock, somewhere in there, something woke me up again. I don't know what it was, but when my eyes opened, I looked out again and she wasn't there. noticed that the balcony door was open, about 12, 14 inches. I noticed that her cigarettes weren't out there. The shirt that she had on that night was laying on the chair in the room. It was a yellow polo shirt. That's the first thing that I'm thinking, that she's changed her clothes or went out. She's left the room and she's up, getting a cup of coffee, taking pictures because we were coming into port. That's when I left the room. I figured if I leave it myself and let him sleep, that I would find Amy, you know, in just a few minutes. And everything would be good.
And it was not good at all.
That's when I
Can you see this hand, please?
I can't find Amy.
He touches my foot.
That's her dad or her
I've
brother?
been looking for Amy.
The guy that's talking
And I
right
can't
now.
find her.
Yeah. That's her mom, yeah.
The skinnier guy is her brother.
Huh.
The bigger guy is her dad.
All of a
What
sudden,
if she just ran away?
the ship is close to docking.
But it was like middle of the night.
Yeah, so she went missing on the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she fell. So when you pushed her, she didn't run away. Unless she was hiding, but
I went up to the desk and I spoke to Mr. and Mrs. Brothel. They were really, really concerned. And, you know, been forceful in wanting to know what we could do. They did ask for the ship to put out a voice page. I did explain that we wouldn't do a voice page.
I always wish I could be a fly on the wall. With this
Yeah,
stuff.
right?
Like,
You should
ooh.
really know.
Go back in time and just be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got a really good look around. She's looking. But if you can't find your daughter within a half an hour, come back. I'll be here and I'll give you the security officer.
Might choose skip to see.
The ship was indexed and it was 1,000 feet long. She could have been anywhere.
2,000 people were getting ready to get on the ship in Curacao. I was on here at the time, so holy scripting. My hair getting ready to make my appearance on the gangway. And I heard an announcement that, would Amy Bradley please contact the person's desk?
You can see people gathering their things up. We're just saying, you can't let people off of this boat until we find them.
The hotel director and everybody briefed me, oh, this girl's missing. But at the time, I still had to make the clearance announcement.
I was begging them, can you back the ship off of the dock? Don't put the gangways down. Stop everything.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Curacao. The gangway is located on deck number 2 is the access. We're not going to stop everybody's cruise because there was a missing girl. That's one family's unfortunate incident, but we still had 2,400 people who paid a lot of money. And as cold as that sounds, that's reality.
It was nothing like we've ever felt before. People still going on their merry way, having a vacation, laughing, talking. And there we are looking for my daughter. It was what nightmares are made of.
After her family didn't find her, we decided to do a search of the ship. We had what they call Charlie drill. They call it a Charlie drill, but it's basically a bomb search drill. We check every drawer of every closet, of every room, of every nook, of every cranny. It takes 45 minutes to an hour. You have 800-900 people doing it. Every crew member has to check their own cabin. Every inch of the ship.
For the search, the security guard had told us to go back to the room and wait. But we didn't see anyone search the ship, but that's when the captain came in.
He says, we have searched and your daughter's not on this boat.
Nothing was found. disappeared, everybody, at least from the employee side, was just assuming that she either jumped or fell overboard.
We were thinking it was possible that she went overboard. It's not so common as people might think, but it's possible.
When we couldn't find her on the ship, local authorities in Curacao were called immediately.
So the ship was out breeze, and when something like that happens, automatically it comes in my lap. They thought she had fallen overboard. Our waters have a very strong current, so something should wash ashore. I remember the search. I could see the boats and helicopters looking. It was the biggest search we ever had. A search grid was between Curacao and the Marines. The Venezuelan Coast Guard and the Navy, everybody looked in that area. Because of the position of the boat, wind force, current was way high. The body of the washed up. Because you had nowhere to found. Not even a piece of clothing, nothing. It's very unusual. Very unusual. There was one here. I know about the water. Research. I'm telling you, if he came out the ship or fell off the ship, we would get the body. She would have washed ashore. Our water got charged, but the shark will not eat her completely. Something, maybe a leg or an arm, something would have washed ashore. It was crying in the ship stream.
They should have had dogs on to like sniff for her or something.
March 24th, 1998. The phone rang. I said hello. And it was awful. It was awful. Just three people crying uncontrollably. I mean, pain that I've never heard before. Because I was alone. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, what next? What's going to happen next?
We left 5 or 6 o'clock. You know, we still had a couple thousand people to entertain and feed. They were still on vacation, so we went back to, normal operating procedure. Life goes on.
Yeah, you missed it. But he's like,
Cruise go
2,400
on.
people paid for it. As sad as it sounds, we can't stop it.
That's when word got
You really
to
can't.
And we begin tonight with a
They're not gonna refund all
It was
that.
like breaking news.
Yeah.
This picture of 23-year-old Amy Lynn Bradley was taken just hours before she mysteriously vanished from a cruise ship early Tuesday morning.
Like, that's not our Amy that they're talking about. Stephanie had called me. We just all the time. Oh my gosh. And I'm an eternal optimist. Everything's gonna be okay. They're gonna find her. It's fine. It was a mistake. She got drunk and was somewhere lost. I was so just like numb. In college, we had all lived in the same dorm. I mean, we literally all met because of Amy. It happened while I was on this work trip. There weren't a lot of details. I just remember not being able to stand. We have to find her now.
How are you guys gonna find her? You guys are on the ship.
Most people have no
You guys are on
idea
land.
when they board a cruise ship. The dangers that are inherent. But the things that have happened to me, things that have happened to Amy Bradley and her family, can happen to anyone, and they do happen all the time. My daughter died on a 3-day cruise out of Long Beach to Mexico. And after that, I began working
This
for
is her?
You can't
cruise
like do
safety
anything
and
'cause
security on
when you
cruise
go on a
ships.
cruise, like when you're in the water, it's different
This ship
laws.
is like a small
Oh, yeah.
city. You
So a lot
cannot
of-
let your guard down. You must remain
They don't
vigilant
have
at all
very many
times.
rules.
Once you're 12 miles offshore,
Just
you're
don't bring
in
drugs.
international.
But we would still do that.
And that's about as lawless as you can get.
Right.
The closest thing to police is the security crew. Well, that's an inherent conflict right there because they're hired by the cruise line.
Yeah.
And the
So if you have a disappearance, you're hundreds of miles away before the U.S. investigative authorities are able to get on that ship. In 1998, I was just freshly out of college. Our office on St. Thomas was a small office with several agents. I heard about the case, and then I hopped on to assist.
I bet she did. She was like, for real, you gotta go.
She was an American citizen that had gone missing. Her age was 23, and she was on her family vacation.
I want to go on a cruise. I want to just, try it.
Yeah, you should. Just try it.
Disappears. No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
don't disappear.
Hey, no, come back. I think it'd be fun, a cruise. Like, just a once.
They're fun, but just like try like a little cruise first.
Yeah.
Like a weekend one.
My grandpa does cruise all the time. He went on a cruise from here to,
And the local police department in Curacao did not find the body.
where's it really cold?
Alaska?
Yeah, he did that one.
In this particular case,
Those are the long ones.
Oh yeah, he was gone for a minute.
They're like 14 days.
Yep. And then he did one where he flew all the way to Portugal and took that cruise.
Oh yeah.
Dang, he loves cruises.
Yeah, a lot of people, like there's people who do cruises all year long.
Yeah.
Was organized
Might as well just live on the boat.
Yeah,
and it was very small.
they do very different
There
ones.
was basically just enough room for 2 beds and just a walk in between them to get to the balcony and back out.
Yeah.
In the room, there was no signs of a struggle, right? But we couldn't be certain the ship had locked out a cabin as a potential crime scene.
Obviously, they're
the
like,
Bradley room had been cleaned before the FBI even was able to get on board. Which was unfortunate because if there was evidence, there was no preservation
Right.
of that evidence.
alright, we got a job to do,
We tried
sorry.
to take fingerprints, we tried to take fibers from the sheets, but it had already been cleaned.
And we looked at the balcony. Based on what the captain briefed us on, the last place that she was physically seen was here.
Do you think she was killed? Do you think she was murdered? Or do you think she just got drunk and probably...
Either
Over
one
6
of the
feet
two, I
tall.
think she
And the
followed
railing,
forward,
you know,
or I think
came up
she,
relatively
but
high on me.
like when
And
you
it
get
was
But there was no
sheer
blood.
shock all
when
the
you
way
get
down
off
to
the
water.
ship, they scan your like
Balcony
But
was
that's
arranged
now.
so that
oh maybe
there
not
were
then.
You know?
2 chairs and
Yeah.
a small table.
They probably just look at your
Table
ID
up against
and
the
like,
glass of
okay,
the
yeah,
balcony.
you're on here.
Amy's
I don't
shoes
remember. I
were
used to
found
cruise when
on
I
the
was little,
balcony,
but I don't
but neatly
remember
placed
like
together
what we did.
beside the
Yeah.
table, like a Birkenstock kind of sandals. You could speculate, did she
Yeah, it was
jump?
Birkenstocks.
But
Girl,
there's
that
no
was
direct
like-
evidence of that.
I don't
You
really
know that was
take
back in
a
the
table
day.
being moved as a key piece of evidence because things, of course, have been moved because of the cleaning crew. So it gets very difficult.
At this point, we need to speak
There's
to
no
the
blood
family
splatter
because
nowhere,
they were the
so
last
I don't
ones to
think,
see her.
maybe she just, somebody pushed her.
We were
Easiest
taken
thing to
to
do.
a room, and there's 2 FBI agents, and it was basically an
But
interview.
her and her brother
We
were
met the
sharing
family
a
as a
room.
whole, all 3 together.
No, I'm thinking she was being
initially.
pushed
And
because
then we broke
her
them
brother went
out
to the room
and
after
interviewed each
he
family.
left
Oh,
like
yeah,
the club.
Yeah,
So
And we
maybe
were sensitive to their situation.
yeah, that's true.
But at
Too
the same
drunk.
time, we have to start asking questions because
I
we
don't
need to
know.
determine what they knew.
We were taking turns
somebody,
going in,
male,
talking to the
female, could have been
FBI.
like, oh, you
He
think
assured us, he
it,
said, we
you
will
could take my
leave
man.
no stone unturned
All right.
to help
You
you.
never know.
They asked me
Yeah.
simple things like
People would go on
what
cruises
happened,
back
the
then and just,
timeline of that,
push
that
you
night
off.
in question and all that kind of stuff.
Because they knew they could get away with it.
yeah.
We're not
So,
only looking for evidence of what possibly did happen,
You see this
we're also
here?
looking to eliminate potential alternatives.
I've spoke up and said, I don't understand why you're taking so much time with us.
When I came back out, I told Ivy, I said, you understand why they're talking to us like this and interviewing us separately. That's because we're suspects. They think that one of us had something to do with it, maybe.
mm-hmm.
We had to look at the Bradley family. The
Let me
last
see your
place they'd
pinkies.
seen Amy was in their cabin and in the middle of the night.
Wow, your nails are
But
long now.
we found no evidence
Girl.
that led us to consider a family member as a possible culprit.
traveling. Did it.
Initially, you are trying to figure out that timeline, to really pick apart and peel that onion back on what could have occurred. We do have one concrete point of fact. We do have confirmation of when the family re-entered their cabin, when Bradley went back in as well as Amy, because of their key card.
The staterooms at that time had key cards that when you would use the key card, it would create an electronic record of entry into the room.
Okay, so it's not
So
that
we know
old.
what time Amy got back into her room. She was in her room approximately 3:40 a.m. She's out on the balcony with her brother. They're chatting and having a smoke out there. And that is the only true fact that we have. And then it does get a little murky.
Unless her brother pushed
After
her.
interviewing
Maybe.
the Bradleys,
He's jealous.
what we know is approximately 5:30 or so in the morning, she was on the balcony. At 6 a.m. or sometime right thereafter, she wasn't on the balcony. The ship did have security cameras in certain places. The cameras were mostly in common areas, but there weren't many. And so we looked at that footage and we didn't find
Yeah,
anything.
because you can't have cameras in the
To get a full
bathrooms and the
timeline.
bedrooms.
You're just
Like,
hoping that
But
someone would come
now
forward
they
to
do
say
have
that they
like,
heard
on the
something
balcony
or
and
they
stuff.
saw something.
They have cameras like all over the ship.
They had the room next door to Iva and Ron Bradley.
I bet you they'd be seeing
I
some
remember
crazy
the
stuff.
FBI, they were looking for clues and they had the room open by the door so you could see in. They had yellow tape across things.
I leave my room and I'm getting a little feeling weird stuff going on.
I bet.
You know, people gossip when they're hanging out. So when I first heard the news, it was apparently somebody fell overboard. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Yeah, there's
While he's still eating and
later
enjoying
by,
his.
like the next day.
Oh my
I'm
god,
afraid
that's
she committed
crazy.
Suicide.
What did you get to eat?
What?
That looks good.
From what I heard through the grapevine, she had kind of bragged that she was a good swimmer, and when she saw the lights of Curacao, she was going to jump in the water and try to beat the ship ashore.
I remember hearing someone say that someone could have drugged her and abducted her.
Dang, those stories are good.
And then I heard, yeah, apparently, maybe she didn't jump. It's like, what? He goes, yeah, they think there was some sort of foul play.
There was a lot of rumors. Oh, everybody's talking about it.
It's like when
I
you
seen
play
her
that game
here, I
Telephone.
seen her there.
Yeah. By the time it gets to you, it's like so.
The FBI
She
wanted to
flew.
interview me.
On an airplane came and
First
picked
thing
her
out of
up.
my
You're like,
mouth
what?
was, I seen her last night. And I told him that I seen Amy Bradley up at the disco that night at about 2 o'clock, because I went up to the disco just to see what was going on. And I just observed and sat down,
You partied.
looking for, looking at girls, whatever.
He
I
never
told
went
the
to.
FBI, Wade Brytag, he would come out on his balcony that was next to us, and there was a partition. But he would lean over to talk to Amy. He was just odd. He was just an odd individual.
During the cruise, I'd go to the casino for a while, then I'd always come back to the room. I'd go out to the balcony till 3, 4 in the morning. Earlier on the trip, Amy and I, we talked. Their balcony,
He did
those
it.
balconies on the ships,
He did it.
even though that rail's right there, well, you step up to that rail, you lean right and look right around in that other balcony.
Yeah, he pulled her and did it.
You could
That's
do
where we
that.
talk about how she was a good athlete, and she just graduated college, and she was going to some job or something.
He
Maybe
killed her.
She denied him.
Yep, and he ripped her and pulled her off.
Mr. Brytag,
Because the last place she was on was the balcony. And he just said,
you know,
they
his
talked on the
interactions
balcony.
or conversations
He
with
did it.
Amy and how pleasant she was and this sort of thing. But he was there by himself.
right.
I don't think he had a spouse or friend or anything with him.
All my cruises, I
I
went on
bet.
by myself. I never took anybody or anything, so I kind of, my chiropractor always says, your filter's only this big anyway. So my filter is, I like solitude. I like being alone. And that night, I probably was back in the room by 2:30 and whatever, but I don't remember hearing anything
I
from
bet.
in that room. That's why it was a real surprise to me that this stuff had happened.
The passengers in the cabin on the other side of him said that after Amy disappeared, his TV or either radio was at a level of, you gotta be kidding me. And then they could hear him talking inside of his room, even over the sound of the loud TV or the radio. And the thought was, well, who's he talking to?
We did search his room, and we didn't find any evidence of her presence there.
There's a version that somebody mentioned to us that she tried to climb over it, fell.
Somebody could say that. Yeah, somebody could say that. But I never had nothing to do with Amy Bradley.
But you talked to her.
Nothing.
A lot.
She just was the girl next door in the room.
That's how it always starts. She was the girl next door that he could not get. He did it.
At some point on Thursday, somebody puts a notice on my door. It said, Amy Bradley missing, please contact, whatever. When I saw her face, I
Oh,
went,
FBI
Oh, I
was
know.
on as the cruise was still going?
I remember
No,
seeing
that
her
was
on the
later
boat,
Oh.
and she was just the life of the party.
I
Amy
think she
had
did
this
see her.
magnetic magic bubble around her. And when she'd walk into the room, everybody noticed her. Get heard about the missing girl. But when I saw the Xerox flyer on my door, that's when I went,
When they went to that
that's the girl?
Curacao, whatever the place is,
That's the one?
they had
Interesting.
came and tried to do some
My
investigation.
mind starts
Oh.
racing.
Like
and I'm
they're
thinking,
part
we were
of
in that
the
dance club that
Hey,
night.
let's
She was
just
the
do a
night
little
she
bit of
went
it.
missing. I was working for a computer company in the San Francisco Bay Area. They were doing a trip for all their best salespeople on this cruise ship. My job was to edit a little highlights reel as a job. I'm thinking, yay, I'm gonna be on a boat. No, I was in a stateroom almost the entire time. After I saw the picture of Amy, I sit down, I go through my box of tapes, and I start going through them. Drop it in, and shuttle, and scan, and look. Nope. Take the next one, shuttle, and scan. Nope. The next one.
I found her.
And there's Amy. Clear as a bell. And she's dancing with Yellow. Yellow was a bass player who played out on the pool deck. And there was a second shot of her dancing with Yellow.
Also, he did
His
it.
name was Alistair. He went by Yellow. I don't know if he had yellow hair at that point, but he dyed his hair yellow. So that's how he got his nickname.
Later that afternoon, I'm in my stateroom, and I've got a call. And the voice on the other end of the phone says, "Hi, I'm the head of security on the boat." And he said, "I'm going to need to get your master tapes from you." The cruise ship knew my camera guy had been shooting in the dance club. I'm like, really? That's not going to happen. I don't give my master tapes to anybody. No, screw you.
Oh, you better hide them.
I took this tape and I did a digital dub of the Beta SP, popped it in a cassette
know what
show,
that
labeled
means.
it my name and my room number, and I gave it to the FBI.
The footage is significant because it helped basically find, anybody
She's having
that she was
fun.
with before she went missing. You can see me and Alistair Douglas together throughout the night. Now we're beginning to find that timeline, to really pick apart and peel that onion back on what could have occurred, who saw her, where she was, what was going on at that time.
When I saw the flyer with Amy's picture on it, I was like, oh my God, I saw her. My friend and I
we had gone to the nightclub that night, and I saw Amy. She did kind of stand out to me because there wasn't a lot of young people on the boat. Yeah, I remember talking to them. She had graduated, she'd gotten an apartment, you know, she had all these things going for her. And, you know, at the time I'm 18
She pushed her
and
out.
still trying to figure it out.
Girl, aren't we all?
And we went back to the room after the nightclub closed. Then we decided we weren't sleepy, so we just decided to go hang out on the top deck. We were sitting on that deck for a while. We weren't ready to go back to the room. It was wee morning hours, sometime between 5 and 6. I saw Amy and this guy that worked on the boat together in this glass elevator that I could see to my right. The glass elevator went up to the nightclub. I mean, it was closed. It was a very well lit elevator. I could tell right away who it was the bass player, Amy. Amy looked like she was staring at something.
Oh, yeah, because the elevator.
I watched them until they rode completely to the top,
you can see
and they exited the elevator.
I mean, that's a good thing to have, because
10, 15 minutes after I saw them, he was coming from the front of the boat. So to my left, he walked down the top deck. Never says a word, just kind of a brisk walk past us, alone. I thought it was very strange because in the nightclub, he had tried to, you know, get us to talk to him. We're alone on this top deck. You know, he just walks right by us.
he was gonna want to talk to me? How dare he?
Kind of got a bad vibe.
No, I
So
bet you did.
immediately I thought, well, where's Amy?
You're lying. You're such a liar.
If the two young women saw Amy and Alistair Douglas together after 5:30 or
Where's
whatever it may
Amy?
be, it could be a game changer. You would know it and confirm that she actually could have left the cabin. But unfortunately, we can't confirm the time because the door lock would have when passengers entered their cabin, but not, of course, when they exited their cabin.
To us, you know, it looked like he could be suspect number one.
And this was international waters, so we can't detain anyone. We can ask questions, but that's about it.
We interviewed him, and subsequently he was polygraphed. He admitted that he knew who Amy was. He admitted that he had flirted with her. He said, you know, I did that, and that's kind of what I do. That he's kind of a flirt, and he would, you know, get flirtations with many of the female passengers. But anything to do with her disappearance, no, he vehemently denied.
The unfortunate part is the timing. Those statements where the two young women saw Amy and Alistair Douglas together, you just don't know, is the time actually correct?
Never.
Ultimately, the polygraph results were not conclusive.
You know, if we had concrete evidence, we're working with the local police department, Alistair Douglas would have been arrested, but we didn't have that.
But I mean, he was bothered, you know, by what was going on. You know, for whatever reason, either he was bothered because he had something to do with it, or he was bothered because he had nothing to do with it. But he was bothered. The cruise was coming to its end.
But like they said, if she
So
fell,
at that
that
time,
her body would have
we were losing
washed up.
access to
Yeah,
anything on the boat, any
But would it,
witnesses,
though?
They said
suspects,
because the way the current is,
potential
the
crime
tides,
scene.
Oh, okay.
that
If you don't have a
Something
body,
would
you
have washed
can't
up.
really determine
even a
exactly what
shark
happened.
wouldn't have ate her all
You
whole.
still have several
Yeah, they don't
Whereas
need anything
they-
many
awful.
things could have
Yeah.
occurred. Did she
If you're not
inadvertently
moving, they
fall
kind
off?
of don't even
Was
eat
it
They
you.
feeling well,
said that
got
maybe
sick,
like a piece of
by mistake,
clothing would have
was on the
washed
balcony,
ashore or
fell off
something.
into the water. Did she commit suicide? Was furniture moved? Did she step on something? And did she jump overboard? The sliding door on the balcony was ajar. Did she walk back through? Did she go up to the deck to watch the sunrise? Did she go out to smoke? Did something occur when she was up on the deck? Did she meet somebody? You know, whether it was that night and the previous night. Did she walk off the ship, never return? did something nefarious occur where she smuggled off the ship? That puzzle is extremely difficult to put together.
We had a very close friend. He basically said to us, I do not want you to dock in Puerto Rico because I think it's just going to be too tough on you with the news. Would you rather just go home now and be with your family? So we flew out of St. Thomas on the 27th.
Yeah, I don't want to be here.
I don't remember a whole lot about the flight coming back home, except that we were leaving her. And she was supposed to be with us.
If she is out there lost, or being held against her will, or being in a bad situation, whatever it is.
You're going to try it? I'll be right back.
You know, flying home felt like giving up. As we were coming into Chesterfield Airport, the wind was blowing like crazy. And the jet was just all over the place, coming in for a landing. I'd never been on a plane that had that much turbulence or that much, wind trying to land. The wings tilting to the sides. The funny thing about it is my heart, I wasn't scared. My heart wasn't beating. I was just thinking to myself, if the thing crashes on the runway, then this thing will be over.
We were picked up at the airport and taken to our home. All of my brothers and sisters were there. My mom was there.
Ava just collapsed in her mom's arms when she walked in. Just watching Ava with her and her comfort, it was like, watching a little kid be in their mom's arms. Nobody knew what to say, what to do.
We had a prayer vigil, asking God to watch over Amy and get her back home to us.
And I remember it bringing me to my knees. And Ivor Bradley came over and held me up. I mean, her daughter is missing, and Ivor held me up.
It took a few days to be able to eat again and form a sentence. But from that point forward, we never even thought about laying down. We started a command center to reach out to every authority that we could think of, the different countries, the embassies. We had hotlines, contacted media.
A young woman traveling with her parents simply vanishes from the ship in the open sea. Amy Bradley vanished just as the ship was docking. She hasn't been seen since.
We tried to have faith and hope because if there's somebody, there's something.
If you have any information on the whereabouts of Amy Bradley, please call the number on your screen.
The minute I saw the picture, I went like, are you kidding me? This is not right. I was there 4 months later when I saw her. I know where she is. Amy's alive. I'm on a vacation with a friend. I went from Calgary to Curacao to do this diving trip. The site that we agreed on was the best, and we kept going back there, was Porta Marie. Porta Marie was kind of set up for locals. You have to know where this is, and you have to want to go there. If you saw more than half a dozen people, you'd be lucky. The reef is great. The water's warm. It's got good visibility. There's lots of sea life in it. We had just come out of the water. We were washing our equipment in the wash area. I look down the beach and I see three people walking towards us.
Uh-oh.
There's one guy, there's a girl in the middle, and then there's another person who looked like he was from the island. As they came closer to me, she comes right up to me. She was in good shape. She was tan.
Are they gonna say they seen her?
Yeah, some people
I
do.
see a tattoo that looks like a Tasmanian devil. And she's just about to say something to me when the person who was on the inside comes up. I'm looking right at him. He stared at me. Doesn't say a word. And motions her away. If he had not stared at me, I would have forgotten everything. But I can't. I think about this every day. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't. And I think if I had 10 seconds more, what would I have done?
About 2.5 weeks after Amy's disappearance, we decided to go back down to Curacao to have a press conference. The purpose of this press conference is to not only let people know what happened and how we feel, but to try to find Amy, to get our plea out.
We asked the captain of the ship to please notify the passengers that she was missing, and he said that he could not do that because it would disturb the passengers.
We went back to Curacao because I felt like I had to do something.
Who was the member of the family that you now saw Amy?
So the yellow shirt guy, you think he probably was like,
You?
I don't know. This whole thing is so weird.
It's
Like,
very
the more you
difficult
watch
to talk
it,
about. The last time I
the
saw
more
her.
you're like, oh, well, maybe this could happen. Maybe this could happen.
yeah, because he's saying he'd seen her, so.
Yeah.
What clothes she had on?
She had on a white top, silver watch and silver earrings.
Was she intoxicated?
She had been drinking. Everyone on the ship had been drinking. We checked the bar tab, and she had had 7 light beers from starting at about 6 p.m.
I try to hold back my feelings.
But what's the drinking age when you get on the boat?
I guess just
It's 21,
Even
but
though
the thing
she's
is, like,
23
when you
years
walk
old.
the ship,
Yeah.
it's whatever's on
you
there.
still try to protect her. And sometimes I think I didn't do enough.
Kind of crazy.
But stay back, man the phones, because I didn't think I could go to Curacao and not come over their second time. I don't remember eating, I don't remember showering, I don't remember sleeping. I was hoping and praying someone would call with information.
The reward has been raised to $260,000. Been raised, and we're still trying to get more and more money from associates and friends and family. If someone has her, please let her go. Leave her somewhere in the middle of the night blindfolded. We won't ask any questions. You can remain anonymous. Whatever, we just need her back.
After the press conference was over, we were outstanding in the lobby area outside, hanging flyers, talking to officials, newspaper people. And we saw this gentleman come up to us. He introduced himself. His name was Deshi, and he was a taxi driver. And he had one of Amy's flyers in his hand. And he said, "Are you the father of the girl that's missing?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he pulled me to the side, and he said, "I want you to know that your daughter did not fall from the ship. Your daughter did not jump from the ship. Your daughter was not thrown from the ship. She's on this island, and I hope you can find her." My heart started beating. And he
said she approached my taxi. She seemed like she was a little frantic. He said, I never will forget her green eyes. And he said she was wearing a white top with jeans, which is what she had on underneath that yellow shirt, and the jeans that were missing. She says, I need to use a phone. He said, I pointed in the direction of the phones, and he said, Amy went the other way. It was the first indication that she's alive, that she's out there. He said, we need to go to a place called Coral Cliffs, which is a resort. You need to go to a place called Kadushi Cliffs. He said, when you go to these places, he said, you want to look around, you don't want to talk to anybody, just look, observe. We met a fellow named John Mentor with the Harbor Police.
April of 1998, the family came down to see if he could see anything. The taxi driver was positive that he had seen Amy Bradley and that she had gotten off the ship. You know, it struck me. It struck me. They were not that familiar with the island. So I went to visit them.
He said it was dangerous and he needed to be with us.
They cannot be there by themselves. Locals will attack them or mess them up. As a policeman, that won't be a problem, but by themselves, no.
We were told in these places that they were owned and controlled by different.
Maybe the guy sold her.
I know,
A couple
that's
of
what
them
I'm
had
thinking.
open water access, you know, that obviously you could come and go from and not be checked by authorities and that kind of thing. Some of those areas we were looking, there were makeshift kind of landing strips that could have been drug trafficking trade or maybe even sex trade.
Stuff like that does happen, so
very
you
lovely
shouldn't
island.
doubt that.
But the crime we have here are drug related because we're not too far from Venezuela. We also have some prostitution on the island and sometimes sex trafficking. She could have been lowered on the ship. Someone might be able to sweet talk her.
We went down one particular road and came upon like a junkyard kind of thing. Old cars, old shacks. And there was one shack that we went in, and one thing that stood out to me was there was a container of Tic Tacs that were laid up on the bed. And my first thought is, I wonder if Amy was here, because Amy loved Tic Tacs. And this is where they maybe brought her. You know, somebody got her off the ship and they brought her here. So that was what
They
my
let her
mental
with
state
Tic
was.
Tacs.
I remember driving through these thorn or briar patches. We're basically on this little 5-foot wide dirt path with thorns 2-3 inches long, scraping down both sides of the vehicles at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I distinctly hear what was obvious to me was Amy's voice say, Brad! In what seemed like a vehicle that was passing us. And I freaked out. I mean, I spun around and I asked everybody if they hear that. You know, they did. And so we whipped around, followed them all up into the hills and these backstreet neighborhoods, fully expecting to pull the guy over and she's going to be in the car. And then the car pulled over. Then ended up just an old dude by himself.
Brad. Say goodbye, Brad.
I know what it sounds like when Amy calls me, and it was very distinct. Never been so sure of anything in my life that that's what I heard and what that was.
What, Brad?
We didn't find her anywhere. But with this, I know that she's still out there somewhere.
We have the taxi driver coming forward saying that they saw her. It really changes everything. We have to try our best to find any other individuals that might have seen her, to try to get the public or anybody to report information.
Our next case involves a mystery on a cruise ship. Mystery of a passenger who vanished.
We contacted
wild.
America's Most Wanted. She's our life. She's our heart. She's one of us. We wanted to get Amy's face out there.
She's one of
They
us.
have reappeared hundreds of miles away. Off to a tropical paradise for some R&R. That's what the Bradley family was after.
America's Most Wanted was on.
They like the way they did the
The
story.
focus was the missing girl from a cruise ship line. And missing on the Curacao.
Amy Bradley has a tattoo of the Tasmanian devil with a basketball on her left shoulder blade.
There's a picture of the Bradleys standing on a gangway or something. The minute I saw the picture, I went like, are you kidding me? That girl was the girl on the beach in Curacao. It was. The tattoos and the piercings, they were the same. I'm 100% sure, not 99% sure, 100% sure. I spoke to the FBI. I recounted in detail my story of my sighting and the people that were with her at the time. Now, one of the two men stared at me, and he's a big guy. He's got a very distinctive face to me. I see that same face on America's Most Wanted.
Oh. Hey,
Amy
exposing
was with
everyone.
two men, and the one that I could identify was Alistair Douglas.
We have a witness saying that they saw Amy on the beach with some individuals. This witness identified one of them as Alistair Douglas, the band leader from the cruise. And we also have the taxi driver saying that he saw Amy and spoke to Amy, and we can't confirm these sightings, but we have to ask. If Amy was still alive and on Curacao, did she walk off the ship? Or was she smuggled off the ship?
If Amy was abducted or taken off the ship.
Or she wanted to go.
In school. I mean, she's a fighter.
Amy was strong, super
No.
athletic. If somebody took
It does
her
not
off
matter
the boat,
how strong
Amy
you
put up a
are.
fight.
You still at the end of the day a girl.
Certainly, I feel like she could hold her own. You know, she was a star basketball player.
Amy was the first female to ever get a full college scholarship to Longwood. She was very mentally and physically strong.
But although Amy was strong, Amy was not large. I mean, they could have put her in
Overpowered her? Yes.
you know, disguised it as luggage and taken her off the ship.
Oh, let me see your photo again.
Amy was pretty tiny.
Did you send me it in the...
She drank.
I sent it to you a few times. I was like, how much is this as a fill, and then how much is this as a regular set? How much is broken nails? I was thinking of
Did
this
she meet the
stuff.
wrong person? Did someone buy her a drink?
You got it?
I mean, I don't know. Could that have happened?
Shoot.
I think she was so much more complicated
I'll
and
send it to
extra
you as a
layered than
text
people really can even understand.
Amy always knew who she was.
I think that's where I get confused.
She was ready to share.
Yeah, when it's Instagram, then text message to Instagram, and I'm just like,
The best memory I had of Amy was probably when she came out to me. And she said, I'm gay. And I said, what about
She's
you?
like, I know.
You're not my type, Sarah. I mean, that still makes me laugh because, you know, I was 17, 18 years old. Well, why the hell am I not your type? What's wrong with me?
At Longwood, a feeling between the two of us just started to evolve, and she kissed me one night, and that was my clue.
Junior year, we were suite mates. We sat on the bathroom floor, and she said, can you help me tell my parents? Can you come with me?
your parents already knew,
I
bro.
remember the drive home with her. That scared her.
I don't know why. They already
Because
knew.
she never wanted to disappoint her parents.
I've never seen anybody as close to their family as Amy was. The Bradleys, they're a very special family. They love hard. I don't think they missed a single sporting event or activity that they ever did. Ever. She did tell her parents about us specifically, and they were not happy. They were surprised and disappointed.
You lying? Put that one in.
Letter to me that was very
Put that one in.
clear on how he felt. It was a 3-page letter
You're lying.
outlining in all the ways in which he was disappointed.
How you not know?
It's Amy's life. It wasn't what we would choose for her, but it's her life, and we loved her unconditionally. And I remember putting that in the letter.
It just put a lot of stress and strain on us. I think we all drank a lot in college, but I think Amy used it as a tool.
Oh, now she's an alcoholic.
Some of
Okay.
his feelings, and I think she carried a heaviness that not all of us carried. I do think that it weighed heavy on her, that her parents were still processing it and didn't quite understand it.
As parents,
Well, because she was on the ship dancing with boys.
yeah.
They're probably confused, like, wait, you just said you're this and now you're doing this. Like, I'm not understanding.
General population.
It was the 90s, for crying out loud. That was taboo. It's difficult
Not
for
really.
a parent to say,
Okay.
I have a child that's gay, but they loved her regardless.
The Bradley family, right from the beginning, was very honest, and they spoke to investigators
I don't
about
want it.
her relationships and, the challenges that she had.
When we went to the cabin to take a look, search it and all that, and we see shoes and the small table pushed up against the balcony and so forth. We have to look at the potentiality of suicide.
We did, many interviews with, numerous friends and family, and also, outside that immediate bubble, just to have a better understanding of Amy's
Beautiful.
state
Put
of
that one
mind,
in.
the headspace of the victim.
I do believe that we should be looking at every possibility.
The notion of suicide, I thought that. But I also thought that Amy loved to not want to not be here.
I do not believe that Amy committed suicide. There's no room for me to believe that. And by the time they went on the trip, she was excited about life. She had just gotten a new job. She had gotten this new bulldog, got an adorable apartment that we were all so excited about because Amy was going to have this space that we could all hang out the second day. They called home from the cruise and they were having a blast. And she sounded so upbeat, and she and Brad had gone shopping, saying, I'll see you when I get back home. Can't wait to tell you all about my trip. I got you this gift. I mean, to me, that's not somebody who was wanting to commit suicide.
Amy was very confident, a very happy individual. She definitely felt like her life was moving forward. I do believe in my being that I don't believe she committed suicide, but the door is still open on any of these possibilities, any of these scenarios. If you didn't have any of these sightings, would you be thinking something different? Possibly.
Who the freak's this guy now?
My name's Bill Hefner. I live in Powell, Nevada. I was in the Navy 20 years. I was on the USS Chandler. My ship
I'll be like,
pulled
thank you,
into
thank you,
Curacao.
thank you.
I think we were just there for an overnight. When I went out that night, I was a long ways from the harbor. And I stopped in a bar I wasn't supposed to be in. I saw the hotel above and it looked like a bar on the bottom. So I stopped in there and there was a guy.
Yeah. We're gonna have to one by one because I don't want these lines or whatever these are called to run into each other.
Okay.
Okay, put it
So
on.
I went in there and more people come I'm down the stairs,
Yeah,
2 guys, 2
we'll just
girls.
switch between them.
And I see the 2 guys back down. I sat down with the 2 girls, and the guys went over to the bar. There was a white girl and a Hispanic girl. White girl was petite, dark hair.
And what, the tattoo?
And then one of the girls got up, went over to the bar. I should have turned around right then and left. Because that's when the other girl, she said, "No, they're holding me against my will.
Put that one in.
I need help." Says I owe them $200 and I can't get my freedom. This was my 18th year in the Navy. I've heard all kinds of stories from working girls.
Put that one in. Damn.
I've heard it before, you know. And that's when she said, with a southern accent, "My name is Amy Bradley." She pronounced it Bradley. Not too southern, but southern.
Put that one in.
accent.
Wild.
She told me she got off that ship and she left on her own because she was going to store drugs. She said, "Me and my brother are partying. I went ashore to go get drugs, and now I'm stuck here with these guys." She was trying to keep it on the down low that she told me.
That could have been true.
She didn't want the guys or the other girl to know that she told me. So when the other girl came back, she shut up again. I didn't know what it was. I just kind of took it with a pinch of salt, and I left. You know, I knew there was a guy out front with a gun. I didn't want to try it.
Put the one in. He was like, I ain't about that life.
He's like, you're on your own.
You did that one.
It wasn't until like 2001. It was 3 or 4 years before I even got reminded of it. I said, "Whoa," you know. I saw the picture and connected the dots.
There was a lead that came in from a Navy serviceman, but it had come in years later after he had been on the island. He never reported it originally because he was obviously in the military and that was, frowned upon. Agents back then tried to confirm that or tried to at least see if the brothel, had any kind of connection. But the information, you're talking years and years later, and it's not something that could be corroborated and could be confirmed. But it does make you wonder, could trafficking have occurred?
Trafficking still happens now.
I didn't want to get busted, restricted to the ship. I didn't want anyone to know that I went to the illegal bar. That was 2 years away from retirement.
To save him from
If I would
retirement.
have got busted down, I would have been, retired lower rate.
He's like, I'm keeping my pension.
Right.
Put that one in. He's like, nope, I'm not a part of that.
He's like, you're the one that decided to.
She said she was. She looked like the picture I saw. So, yeah. The FBI came for an interview, lie detector test. They asked if I could identify the guys from pictures. The picture that they showed me, I think, was yellow.
You think or you know? Put that one in.
At the bar. I couldn't be sure, so.
Okay.
You don't know.
He's like, it's been so long.
You don't have to believe me, but the FBI did. They did a lie detector test on me, so.
You can pass the lie detector test.
Yeah, I have nothing to gain. I came forward because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, after you got your pension.
Right.
After I got my money.
More than that.
The girl's gone. You could have saved her right then and there.
We were together the whole cruise. I don't know what the hell she could have gotten into. But
He could have lied. He's like, look, I saw them pulling her in.
I was driving by.
Miller Lite and Marlboro Light.
I don't know.
Those kinds of things.
You chose not to. You chose to save your own ass.
To score a drug deal. None of that made any sense to me. But on the other hand, you've got yourself a really legitimate witness. Everything lines up. So
He thought it was a drug addict.
in a brothel situation, we thought, well, how did she get there? What happened? How did it happen? We're thinking about the cruise over and over and over. Did we miss anything? And when we go back and take a look at the different things that happened prior to her disappearance, it was like, whoa, what about this? What about that?
The thing that sticks out the most, I think, to me anyway, is the attention that the wait staff seemed to pay to Amy.
But then at some point, the waiter walked right up to us and looks at me and says, "Where's Amy? We want to take her to Carlos and Charlie's." At the time, all I knew was a bar. That was on Aruba. And when I told Amy, she went, "We're not getting off the boat. No way." Later, I did notice a man a couple decks up that I caught eye contact with a couple times. I couldn't figure out what this fellow was looking at. I'm wondering if he's looking at Amy or looking at us. At one point, I just kind of did this. "Can I help you?" And then I looked down to get my things, and when I looked up, he was gone. After dinner, I told Amy, I said, "Hey, let's go get our pictures." So we go into the gallery, and there's pictures hanging on the boards for passengers to purchase from the gallery guy.
That's
He
nice.
recognized her immediately and said, "Oh, you're over here."
Yeah, pictures they
So
sell,
he
but
went
they're
over
so
and looked,
expensive.
and he took some out and looked behind him and looked again, then he looked into a box, and he said, "Well, I put them there. Would anybody from your group have come in here and purchased those pictures?" I said, "No." I didn't think much of it, except I said to him, "Can you redo those pictures?" And he goes, "Well, sure."
They probably did traffic her.
Why did they try to get her off the boat? Why are Amy's photos missing? Somebody saw her and wanted her and took her.
I took over the case in 2001, and talking to the Bradleys, you could hear the pain in their voices and their desperation to try to get some answers. People will do anything for their kids, right? They'll do anything for their daughter. So they were doing everything they could to try to solve the mystery.
We checked embassies, hospitals, prisons. We talked to anybody that would talk to us
We're seeing if she
about
went to
what
jail.
was going on in that region of the world. And we had a hotline, we started calling the news, and we told the story hundreds of times.
Joining us are Amy's parents, Iva and Ron Bradley.
Iva and Ron Bradley.
Iva and Ron Bradley.
Her parents have never given up the search.
I remember the phones ringing all times of the night. You know, people calling from different places.
There's no way that I could ever explain what it would feel like tonight. Bring one of your children home.
It's reliving it every time we tell it. Year.
Amy's very responsible. She's very conscientious.
After year, if she was going to leave for more than 10 or 15 minutes, she would have absolutely left us a note. After year.
Go to bed every night thinking about her. She's never off my mind.
Anytime the computer would ding, we'd all run to the computer to check what the email was. Some of them were about torture.
Amy's feet were cut with razor blades so she couldn't escape. Amy's being tied to a tree.
Your daughter's been hit in the head with a hatchet, and she's buried in a shallow grave in Venezuela, and here are the coordinates. And so what you do at that moment is you take a deep breath, and you check it out, and you're able to determine there are no such coordinates. It was frustrating. And then one day we get an email.
Oh, is that her
In
daughter?
2005, there was a series of photos that the family received, allegedly from a website where people would meet for free sex or to engage with prostitutes. When I got the case, I was recently assigned to the San Juan Division, and I was responsible for, from Puerto Rico all through the West Indies down to Trinidad and Tobago. It was a hotbed for human trafficking. There's lots of people going through that area and lots of money going out to places it shouldn't go.
Seeing the photos, that's a terrible thing. It's
This is the hard part, trying to do this.
It's a panic.
This is the hard part,
It's a
trying to do
level
this.
of panic.
Yeah.
All I can keep
I see
thinking
like
is
people like
that my daughter?
when they do it, they like do the white
Pretty
part.
unsettling set of images. Just
And
sickening.
then, that's
I mean,
kind of
it's,
like
it's
the like
you know,
vibe.
certainly not
Yeah.
somewhere Amy would want any
Coming!
part of. We don't know what Amy looks like at this point. You know, 7 years.
I'm like, why are they always gonna call me when I'm doing it already?
We all looked at it. The nose, the chin, the hair. It took my breath away. I thought, that could be Amy.
Alright, give me a moment.
It's a huge tangible lead. Our job is to figure out where it came from, where it was taken.
The photograph itself has been on a particular website that prostitution down in the Caribbean and Venezuela area. The individuals in the photographs are
Okay,
women
when I'm done, I'll
in their
come home,
risque
okay?
attire.
Want me to bring
The
you
FBI
something?
had a forensic analysis done of this photo. We have several photos, of course, of Amy, where we have
what do you
her
want?
side profile, where she's looking straight on.
Oh, you got a fruit roll up?
With the ear.
Oh, okay. Want me to bring you some French fries? Yeah?
Looked at the shoulder, the arm.
Okay, when I'm done, and then I'll go get you some French fries, okay? Okay, I love you.
And believed that it was Amy Bradley.
Bye, baby. Bye, Mom.
It is like a stab in the heart. I've never thought that she wasn't out there. Neither has her dad. Neither has her brother. We got to get to her.
Amy Bradley disappeared 7 years ago. Now, Iva and Ron were forwarded a picture via email by someone who wants to remain anonymous. I want to show you this picture of who may very well be Amy Bradley 7 years after her disappearance. Why don't we go through the features that the experts have picked out? What they do is they measure things that don't change in time. And you can see the cheekbones here that have some similarity. Now look at her chin, and even her hair widow's peak, which doesn't change, and if you look at it, it is dramatically similar. We know that Amy has 4 distinctive tattoos. Now, the picture, she was positioned in such a way as to cover every one of those areas. We want to look at...
I was just watching the Dr. Phil show, and I'm watching it, and a couple comes on, and they show this picture of this girl that went missing in the Caribbean, and I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I said, that's the girl I saw in Barbados. I saw her. I saw her. My husband and I, we were on a cruise. It was Richtown, Barbados. I wanted to get some souvenirs for my family. So we went to this store. It was downtown. And we were looking around, and I said, oh, there's really nothing here I want to buy. He goes, well, it's hot. Let's go back to the ship and eat. And I said, okay, but I need to use the restroom first. So I went in there, and I wasn't in there maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and all of a sudden I heard people coming in, talking, and I thought, men are in this restroom. There was a man over by the door talking. I can't remember everything he said, but I heard him say, the deal's at 11 o'clock, and I'm warning you, you better be ready to go. I didn't know what actually it was, maybe a drug deal. I didn't know what was going on. And then all of a sudden the men left. And I opened the door, and there's this young woman standing by the sinks. She had real long dark hair, and it was kind of wild and crazy. Had a skirt on, a straight skirt, and a sleeveless top. She had this awful look on her face, kind of crying. I walked over to the sink to wash my hands, and I said, "Hi. Are you on vacation here?" And she just shook her head, "No." "Do you live here?" She shook her head, "No." Wouldn't talk. And then I says, "Well, what's your name?" She said, "Amy." I could tell she had a Southern American accent. So I said to her, "Where are you from?" She was talking so low, I thought she said West Virginia. I went, "Oh." I thought I was cheering her up. "I'm from near where you're from, and I have a daughter named Amy, and she's just about your age." And when I said that, she starts walking towards me, getting up my face, and she backs me into a wall. And I just froze. So I'm talking real fast. I'm going, "Oh, it's so nice meeting you. I hope you have a good time, whatever you're doing." And she watches me. She never moves. It's like she's frozen. Her back is to the door. So I open the door, and here's this man standing in the door, blocking my exit. So I play dumb tourist. I go, "Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got to get out. Excuse me," like that. And I just kept inching. Her back was to the door the whole time I'm leaving. And I get up to my husband, and he says, "Gosh, you were in there a long time." And I'm telling him, there's something going on. They're forcing that girl to do something she doesn't want to do. They all came out with their arms through her arms. I stood there and watched them until they disappeared. My husband's saying, "Well, there's nothing you can do, Judy." So we got it back on the ship, and I remember we went to get something to eat. The cafeteria where we were sitting, they had windows, and I could see Barbados, and that's all I could think about was that girl. And that's all I could think about for weeks, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who she was. All I knew was that her name's Amy. She's got an American accent. She says she's from West Virginia. I thought it was West Virginia. I tried to just put it out of my mind until I saw that on Dr. Phil. I called the FBI, and I said it was her. It was exactly, when they showed the picture, it was her. It was the same girl. That's what she looks like.
Our agents in Barbados went out trying to figure out, could it have been Amy? Could she have been in that restroom? They spoke to those folks. There's no cameras, there's no video, and tried to track down as best as possible, but it did not furnish anything.
We looked at everything in that picture and anything that could be identified. Pieces of furniture that had markings on them. You know, you look at the bed. Could we possibly find out the manufacturer? Anything that could possibly give us a lead to where this photo was taken. Everything under the sun comes into play, but victims of human trafficking can be very, very difficult to find. Survivors, after they've been rescued, have told us that the traffickers said that their entire families would be killed back in their home country if they didn't continue to do what they had to do. Do you remember leads coming in? In all those grains of sand that come in, there may be, something that actually solves the mystery. But to look at it as an investigative lead, you need something else. You need somebody that knew that person, that was close to that person.
Message 1.
Hi, my name is Amika Douglas. I'm the daughter of Mr. Douglas. I was just wondering if we can talk for Amy Bradley. I'm really good at this, but I have information
careful. At least it's not 1,000 degrees up here. Amy's 2 bags are over here, and all of her belongings are in boxes over in the eaves there.
That's the bag she packed.
She packed this bag and this bag.
When was the last time you looked at that bag?
Probably about 20 years ago. We had all of her things, right down to her wallet and her change and her toothbrush. This is what she had on during dinner. She was supposed to come home and have her things.
After Amy disappeared, watching Dad hold Mom while she's losing it was super hard. Before that, don't know if I'd ever seen my dad kind of break down. Before Amy's disappearance, life is good, everything's great, everything's going well. And then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from under us, and everything kind of came to a screeching halt. And I stopped school for a period of time, came back home. It felt like this depressing period where one of the most important people in my life was gone, was missing.
We've lost a lot of years, of our life. Search, but we won't stop.
I don't have children, and I'll be 48 in December. Subconsciously, I think I'd have to admit, watching my parents lose a child was so traumatic for me that I'm not willing to put myself in a position to go through that.
Somebody knows something. Somebody saw something, somebody heard something, somebody told somebody something. We were told by an FBI agent, keep your lights on. Nobody can keep a secret their entire life.
Message 2. Hi, my name is Amika Douglas. I'm the daughter of Mr. Douglas. I'm really good at this, but I would really love to talk to you. I know what you guys are going through, and if it was me in this situation, I would have more information about, why my daughter isn't here right now.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe of all the people find our number, go through the effort, and call. It would be Alistair Douglas's daughter.
I was born in Grenada. Me and my dad was like two peas in a pod. Like I said, everybody, my daddy's girl. My dad made me that way. It took me on a lot of fun adventures, going to the beach, going out for food, seeing him play with his band. But growing up, it was just all about music. And he was just constantly away, playing music on cruise ships. When he and my mom got divorced, I think I was probably like 1 or 2. And then when I got older, my mom said something happened on the cruise ship your dad was on. And if you go research his name, you'll probably find this about him. I wasn't born at the time, but my mom told me one night when he came back from the cruise ship, that my mom said everything just changed. I guess my mom was just trying to, have a conversation with him. I mean, she's been home by herself for months, you know, and then just to see her husband come home and he's upset and just saying a lot of hurtful stuff to her. It's just really weird that he would disrespect his pregnant wife like that. You know, it's scary too. And then my mom saw that he came home with a bag. My mom looked in the bag and it was pictures of women. Just all Caucasian women. And I think that's what raised the red flag for me. It's just so when I asked my dad what happened with Amy, and his reaction was just weird. He gets upset when I bring it up. To me, his story feels like he was missing a lot of parts. And that's what's making this so nerve-wracking. I want this to end. I want, you know, answers.
Who's that supposed to be now?
Hi, Daddy.
Well, his daughter. The guy yellow's daughter.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know. I mean,
Why, he's in jail?
No.
I didn't do everything
He did it.
wrong. So tell me how am I supposed to? I have no problem with
Well,
buying myself.
in his suitcase, she found like a bunch of pictures of this white blonde woman.
I mean, they brought the FBI on immediately. And then he said to me that they're
And
trying
he's
to
like, I
find
made a lot of beautiful
this girl that I was seeing
because
that
what's so wrong about having pictures of them?
What kind of pictures, though?
It was just like a whole like folder, and it had like pictures of a bunch of women.
Like, inappropriate,
No,
or
they were just regular. Like, just,
was he in the photo?
Hearing that
no, he just had pictures.
you were seen on the beach with her like months later.
Which beaches saw me on? Because I don't like beaches. I mean,
Yeah, he did it.
And then he said he don't like beaches.
Like I dance with many people at the club.
Right.
So
I did nothing.
you don't know if he ever got off the boat.
How would I know that? I left in the club at 1 o'clock. When I went to my room, how would I know she was off the boat? I'm a little boy from Grenada who've never had any experience like this before. I'm sitting there, my name was called, I have these questions about something I don't know.
But then most people saw him at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Of Caucasian women that she came home with, you know, it raises a lot of questions.
Which one of the picture was her?
I don't know.
I had many pictures.
Yeah, why? Like, it's hard to hold this conversation with you because you get upset.
We'll take pictures of everybody. As a fan, if people come and want to take pictures with you.
If this happened to me, how would you feel?
If you were missing, I would do everything in my power to find out where you are. I understand that her family is trying, maybe trying to find her all these years. And I'm in sympathy with that, but I had nothing to do with that. Nothing at all. Nothing.
It's like
that one in? That's mild.
It's just so much missing pieces.
Yeah. I think he sold her. I think he probably sold a lot of women.
Yeah.
It was emotional. Everything
It's just she got the publicity we talked about, and he was like, oh shit.
Like, I
And he
have a
probably
daughter,
stopped after that.
and I think this in my mind every single day. I will not rest until I know what's going on.
There's got to be something at the deepest level in her, I believe, to go through the effort to find us and try to help us.
I want peace for everybody. I just wish that I could help them to get answers.
You know, if we had evidence, someone would have been arrested. But Alistair, he had some behavior that was definitely suspicious. The young women saw Amy and Alistair Douglas together going up to the disco through the elevator, which was after the disco closed. And that timeline does make sense because we know Alistair was in his room approximately like 3:30, 5 a.m. But then after that, the timeline can't be confirmed because the door lock would have when passengers entered their cabin, but not, of course, when they exited their cabin. We
Mm.
can't track when Alistair Douglas next left the cabin. Two young women
Already
saw
do
Amy
this
and
part. I
Alistair
don't like
Douglas
it.
together. You just don't know, is the time actually correct?
Roy Rennick saw Alistair Douglas with Amy going up the glass elevator to the disco approximately 5:30 or so. They go back to their room a few minutes later and had forgotten their keys. And so they knock on the door.
But they did.
And the mother of one of the girls opens the door and lets them in. So there's no lock link showing key entry as to when they said they were going in. I can't find any evidence anyone interviewed the mother who let them in the room at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to confirm that time.
The fact Alistair Douglas is not in the United States makes it very difficult. We have no jurisdiction. You can't just go into another country, without the permission, of course, or, hey, can I speak to your citizen?
I just
Ironic.
He was very
Put that one
nice,
in.
very chill.
How
Good guy.
ironic.
I had no bad thoughts about, no bad experiences with him at all. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, dancing with the wrong girl, and
He was in on
told
it
them
too.
what he knew. No one even thought he would be capable of doing anything wrong or bad.
It's surprising how few people realize the dangers of cruising, but the things that have happened to Amy Bradley and her family do happen. I don't know what kind of background check is done on the crew that's hired there, because they're hired in countries where the vetting practices might be incredibly different from what we're accustomed to in the U.S.
We barely do it in the U.S.
Stories after story after story
What are you
of
talking about? So stupid. We have what? Just because it's the U.S. we have more background checks?
when
That's
something
not a
happens.
lie.
I suspect the first person they call is the legal
But
department.
they did. Look at the
What do we
teacher
do?
in the
How
U.S.
do we cover
that
this up?
she
How do we
molested
make
this
this go
student.
away?
Did you background check her? Did you do anything?
One of these cruise ships.
That's why I stay at home
You're in basically your own
with my
country.
kid until she could
You
talk
might be
like
a
fully
U.S.
and
citizen.
stuff.
You're like, I need to know what is going on. Who's touching? And like the ladies at the daycare that beat the kids.
The
Like,
sheriff of this town, the boss
one
of
lady
this
bit her
little floating
one of the
village,
children. She
is the
bit him. Like, why are you even biting?
employee of a multi-billion-dollar company.
The other kids are biting? No,
What's
you're
at
fucking
stake
biting, you freaking weirdo.
is money.
Where's your
It
background
is
check?
profit over people. Profit over protection.
Being a proud Royal Caribbean employee, it was just kind of heartbreaking that we were accused of, either wrongdoing or not doing our job
Background
properly
checks
or
of freaking
not caring.
people who
We had a business
do
to run.
essay on people. Like,
And that was a very unexpected happening. I've concluded that the conspiracy theories about Amy Bradley are BS. I think she jumped or fell off. And I just think it's grasping at straws. A family that is not facing reality. A family who cannot come to terms with the fact that their daughter's gone, looking for somebody to blame.
Front cover
free.
shows
He doesn't
Shane
care.
Lady, Molly Bish,
He has
Jill
no,
Berman. Here's Amy.
Yeah, he has
26
sellers.
years of looking for Amy every day. It's a life goal. 2 chairs and then the balcony. You have the sun deck, and then you have the compass deck. That would be the island, and then this would be the search grid. In my quiet times, I mean, it's just like, what did we miss? Looking for a clue and looking for somebody who has something, but they don't know what to do with it, or they're afraid. Because if there's somebody knows something, please give us that one thing that we need.
What are you holding?
It's a message in a bottle that she sent me in February of 1990. It is is one of the most personal things, and I'm incredibly reluctant to share it.
Hey, now you wanted to share it. Put that one.
I can't, this can't.
Why don't we start from the beginning?
We met at a basketball tryout. I was 14, and I am shy, introverted, insecure, and I see this very confident, loud, playful person that was doing trick shots, and she couldn't just take a layup. She had to put like a style in it. And so I was like, whoa, who is this? We were both on the travel team. So you're staying in hotels, you're playing all day long.
Oh, hell no.
Pretty quickly, we were really close friends. We'd get along on different levels. We'd go to each other's houses, and these dynamics started to come in. I was like, okay, who is this person that you're hanging out with? I had a sleepover at her house. I can't sleep. Why can't my heart is pounding? But clearly, I was falling for her. But then we went to different colleges, and both came out in college, but we didn't really know it until graduation. We went to the gay bar and hung out all night and danced and caught up, and she's dropping me off in the driveway. We both lean in. I have never been kissed before like that. I think we stayed in that car for like an hour kissing. And it felt like, finally, it was magical. I had just gotten a job at University of Kentucky, so I was getting ready to leave, but we both intuitively knew we wanted to be together. We were gonna pursue long distance, come for weekends, and I was very much in love with her. But in January of '98, she calls me. She wanted to tell me that she had kissed someone. They had been drinking. What she said was it didn't mean anything. She said it helped her confirm her feelings for me. And I said, Amy, I need some time to process this.
What
I wasn't returning her phone calls, so she resorted to writing letters.
Oh, okay.
And message and phone.
No, my friend wanted to go to the
I hurt you deeper than you can ever
You're like, no girl, no.
I'm not asking
for
you
my
to forget,
because she wanted to have a little date, and I was like,
I just wanted to ask
they
you
charge so
if you
much.
could find it in your
She's like,
heart
I'm
to
paying.
forgive me.
You're like, I
I'm
got
like,
it.
okay.
You said it.
Okay.
I've been insensitive, immature, and selfish. I didn't like the person I was, and I'm not proud of how I acted. I feel like there is an ocean
50 is your total.
Like I'm on a desert island waiting for you to rescue me.
So I was like, cousin, you said 40 and then $5 for nails.
Yep.
I miss you, Mom.
And I'd rather pay the $5 than have my nail
come up.
or lifting, or I don't know. Right.
Years have passed because the 20th anniversary was coming upon us. That's a great way to get more information out there, to really push that the FBI still has the case open, that we are soliciting and garnering love information to come in. It's been all these years. So I had age progression photos of Amy done because I myself don't look the same as when I graduated college. She could have a different hairstyle, long hair, short hair, and of course she is aged. If you have any information, whether it be that you are a passenger or a crew member, we ask that you come forward. The smallest detail could assist us in finding finding out what happened to Amy?
Back in 1998, there wasn't a whole lot of internet going on. Things have changed quite a bit.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about an unsolved missing persons case.
Amy Lynn Bradley.
Amy Bradley.
Amy Lynn Bradley.
One of the biggest mysteries at sea.
I really don't think she would have intentionally jumped.
Okay, first off, even if she did fall off the boat, they were so close, she could have swam.
As disturbing as it is entirely possible Amy Lynn Bradley was smuggled off this cruise ship.
Ships have so many closets and weird little corners and nooks and crannies that you could hide someone in.
He was an employee of the cruise ship and had access to restricted areas.
Or maybe the band members of the Blue Orchid were working for some sort of nefarious operation.
Maybe the whole entire crew was in on it.
I think that she was like marked.
So if you have any information leading to the recovery, identification of Amy Lynn Bradley, please contact the FBI.
I first became aware of Amy's case, it was in 2014. True crime discussion boards really were only really starting to begin at that point. I had a pretty strong interest in true crime. I was pretty much Googling and researching everything I could find about Amy. Articles, web sleuths, threads, there was discussion, forums. I was pretty shocked that one had never heard of the case and that Amy had never been found. Amy's story moved me in a lot of ways, and I really felt like there needed to be a go-to resource where all of the information that pertained to Amy's case could be posted, because if they're not, these cases a lot of the time do get forgotten about. So that was why in 2018 I created my website, amybradleyismissing.com. It has photographs, sightings, a lot of archived links, all of the tips, leads, different theories. Obviously, a case of this magnitude, the speculation, it goes completely crazy.
And that's where I was standing when I saw Amy. I work in telecommunications. I'm a networking and telecommunications specialist. That's what I do. Now, one day, Iva tells me, hey, this guy, Anthony Wills, he had built this website. So Anthony and I strike up this kind of friendship. So then we start thinking, well, wait a minute. We have a website. We have stream data that comes from that website. We have IP tracking on that website. Why don't we start to mine that data?
The great thing about my website is I can log into the analytics. I can find each and every IP that has visited my site. I can then, what you do is you copy and paste those IPs into a IP reader, and it will give you the general geolocation of where that IP is coming from.
Anthony starts sending me information, the data. I start filtering through the data. We're looking for patterns, where these IP addresses come from.
What was pretty shocking to me was the amount of IPs that were coming from Bridgetown, Barbados.
It's the last sighting ever. It was in Barbados. So we start taking pictures of Amy's family, and we start putting that information up there. I start pulling out all of the IP addresses. It tells us how many times that IP address visited the site. It tells us what pages they went on and how long they rested on that page. Why on birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, does somebody keep hitting that site? They dwell on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and birthdays, and hitting it from Curacao, hitting it from Barbados, and sit on there for 45 minutes or something. It doesn't make sense. So here's my theory, and it's just that. It's either the people that are involved in this are curious, and they want to know how close they are to being caught. The second thing is, It's Amy. We put a lot of new pictures up, sentimental things.
We've got her Miata and pictures of the dog.
If in case she happens to be able to look at it, hopefully she will see it and know that we're still trying and still thinking about her.
The pages that they dwell on. I mean, why are you looking at this page and why are you spending minutes on it, right? Why do you keep coming back to these pages? Why are you interested in these pages? Maybe you're doing this because you want to reach back. You want to reach back. It's a memory, right? You want to see how your mom and dad have aged over the years and what your brother is doing or something is happening in their lives. Maybe they're looking to make sure they're still alive. When Amy disappeared, was there a threat out there that said if you ever tell your parents, we'll kill them? It might be she still believes that her family might be threatened.
I think the idea that she's being held against her will and that she will go to the website to see her own photographs, anything is possible. You
Alright,
can
we're
track
back.
those that come to the site, but you have to go through a legal process to get the subscriber information. If people are international and they're not from a U.S. carrier,
I
we're
made a
not going
sandwich.
to at all obtain any information on who could be hitting that site.
Question I'm sure you've also been asked. Why the hell did we call home, email home? She's alive.
Okay, so that's a good question.
Nice to you,
I don't understand why
Amory.
she wouldn't have reached out.
You're bipolar.
If she has access to a computer. However, we don't know, what she has experienced, what she has
Iris,
endured.
hello. Thank you for the compliment. Claudia.
Back when I saw Amy in Barbados,
Doing friendship is hard.
one thing that I always remember when the men said, you better be all
Giovanni,
set, and don't try to leave
you're freaking dirty.
or do anything because we're going to be outside waiting.
How about that?
all night.
How about that?
The woman, she was, can we stop and see the children? Said, yeah, we can stop and see the children. And he says, are you going to cooperate, not try to leave? And she said, yes.
Why yesterday you
I
said you
don't know
hate me?
whose children they were going to go see. But she really got excited about that. Maybe it was her children.
A lot of things could have happened in that time period. We don't know if she has children. She could be a mother now. We don't know if there's been threats that have been made against her family that might explain why she hasn't reached out. Even though she has been seen in Curacao, she's been seen in Barbados.
I look at all of these sightings, and people say, well, why hasn't she called you? That's probably the biggest question that we get. If she's out there, why doesn't she call you? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Maybe she's a victim of Stockholm Syndrome, where the captive person starts to identify with the captors. Maybe he's in a situation where she's had children. Maybe they threatened her. Maybe they threatened her children. We don't know any of these answers. It just gives me hope that she's still out there somewhere.
To think that I've got grandchildren that I don't know, I'm still on Earth. I'm still here. So if I do, and we're able to locate Amy, and if she has children, locate her children, I'd be happy.
What do you guys want to see?
There's a few things in here that are pretty special. We have all of Amy's possessions, even down to the change in her wallet.
The not knowing. How does it not wear them down? It doesn't. 30 years later,
We have another person
and
when I'm done
optimistic.
eating.
But hope is a double-edged sword, And I wonder what's better, having that hope, having the belief that she's coming home, or getting the closure that you need.
If she is
Someone else can have on my way.
Find her and she's happy.
Yeah.
Would be the happiest person in the world.
Don't forget to super sub.
But I don't think that's
because of the circumstances. Her going missing a month later to the day that she sent me this letter. And also it being a message in a bottle.
You guys have nothing to say now?
Of the metaphor is ripe for misunderstanding. They could suggest suicide, but I don't connect with them in that way. For me, I read a love letter. It is a love letter. After the message in bottle, I reach out to her, and we actually got together. This was days before she left for the cruise. She wanted me to meet her dog she had adopted, Bailey. She really wanted me to see her partner. I knew in her presence we were gonna make it work. And we had planned that we would see each other after the cruise on Easter. I don't think she'd been on a cruise before. She was incredibly excited about it. She had a new postcard. It arrived after they got word she was missing. I'm a photographer, so she referenced taking photos. And then she said, I wish you were here. I can't help but like stop her from going on a cruise. You know, I was right there. I was right there with her in my apartment, right before. It's like I can see her. I can see her clearly. I can smell her. I can feel her. We're bringing her alive, you know? We're bringing her alive. Today is the 9,758th day that we've been working to get in. We will never give up on her. In the morning when we wake up and we say, well, maybe today. And then when we get ready to go to bed at night, we have a special little kiss for Amy and we say, maybe tomorrow.
We keep her car in the garage at home, keep it out of the weather, and keep it shined up.
That's hers. And she would love to be able to get back in it.
So it's gonna be pristine when she gets here. And then she'll get to drive it again. We all have this gut feeling that she's out there. The lack of closure or the not knowing allows us to continue to hope. So I actually prefer it that way, you know, than the finality of having an answer.
Did you guys see that Ozzy Osbourne passed away yesterday? I seen it yesterday, but I forgot to talk about it. He passed away.
Sometimes, like, I see her in my brain.
Sucks.
I think about her in certain places. I see her playing basketball a lot. Like, I see her drinking a beer a lot and hanging out, dancing.
You wonder what she would think of all of our life choices and, you know, what we've done. And, you know, and then there's just that hope that she knows that, like, how much we've all missed her. Brad and I broke up within a couple months of Amy disappearing. I just think there was just a lot going on for all of us, you know. I still loved them. I think the situation was obviously so overwhelming that, you know, I probably distanced myself. I think they probably all felt like they just couldn't handle anything else. I mean, it's never going to be the same.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, I think,
The Amy Bradley case
is...
you're never going to forget.
Shoot, I don't even know.
It's
I
so
don't even know.
many questions for an FBI agent.
that is very, very frustrating because that's our business. We like to solve mysteries. We don't like to leave sadness. And this case is just full of it.
I think that's the struggle, all these different sightings. I desperately wanted them to be true. Any scenario about what could have happened around her disappearance has doubt and possibility mixed in. But for me and my making peace with that she's no longer here, the one that I have loved.
I'm trying to get a ninja slushie. That's what I'm really trying to get. I've been searching and searching. All these people want to sell it for brand new.
Amy's case today is considered an open investigation. If anybody knows anything, were you on that ship? Did you see or hear something? It's been all these years. Maybe you took notes, maybe you wrote something down, whatever it may be. That information could help.
Something happened to Amy. We don't know what that is, but we have got to have answers. If you know something, please give us that one thing that we need. Please do that for us and do that for Amy.
All these people want to sell these ninja slushies for freaking store pricing.
I'm Greg. Can I take your order?
Hi, Greg. I'm Bonnie, and this is my daughter, Christy. But she and I haven't spoken in a couple of years, so this is kind of a big moment for us. Let's see. What can you recommend for a mother and daughter who are reconnecting after a long, angry silence?
Pie?
Mom, please, just order pie. Is the mint tea decaffeinated?
Yes,
Do you promise? If I have caffeine after tea, my sleep is ruined.
I promise.
So, what do you guys do?
Did you see that Stranger Things coming out with a new episode season?
My mom was
That's
27 years
crazy.
old. She had just given birth to her fourth child. I was 8 years old. That day, my dad, he picked us up from school. I'm walking into the house, and I remember her coming out of the bathroom and saying, "I feel weird." And my grandma told her to sit down, pulled out a kitchen chair, and her breathing was erratic. It was hard. It was memorable still. Still remember breathing in her eyes and how scared she looked in her eyes. My grandma told her to put her face, put her head between her knees, and maybe that would help with breathing.
Yeah, we have another girl coming.
Do you remember my dad picking up the phone, calling 911, and then sending me upstairs? And the next I know is I'm watching my mom, go out on a stretcher. I didn't realize that she had died. I didn't know that. I just thought the paramedics were taking her out. And we did not find out until the next afternoon what had happened.
Just waiting for her. She's supposed to come at 3, so we'll find out. Put a deposit, so find out.
A bizarre and terrifying story today. 7 persons are now dead in the Chicago area after they took Tylenol capsules that had been laced with poison. Police say the capsules were laced by someone officials describe as a very sophisticated, malicious person. It was just such a terrible crime to take the part of their hopes and someone and turn it into a weapon.
What?
She was just murdered.
No, that's powdered sugar.
Innocent people going through their normal daily lives were poisoned to death for no reason. There are real reasons to doubt a narrative that we've all accepted for 42 years. The tampering with and the poisoning of the product did not, I repeat, did not take place in our plant.
Why are we not digging and asking Johnson & Johnson for questions? These documents really how secretive the investigators have been.
They're barking up the wrong tree, and it absolutely guarantees that they will never solve the Tylenol homicides. There's somebody out there who can get to follow the evidence wherever the evidence takes you.
You guys think she's gonna show up? All of a sudden you guys don't want to talk now when it's just me, but then you guys want to talk all this shit when people are here. Wild.
Thousands of calls being working through the last summer, just covering the Barbados. September 29th, 1982. Just prior to 12 o'clock, the tones went off, and they announced Biscuit 3, letter code 1, which is a call from ambulance, medical assist. The gentleman's name was Adam Jeffs. He was 27 years old. He was not quite feeling well that particular day. And told his wife to take him out and take the day off. He's down and had a broken car. Killed by the bullet.
this from police by female surgeon. I look near him and I see his eyes are floating away. Just before 6 o'clock, the phone went out again. And it was a deja vu. 4 o'clock. There was a second that was before the man died. And the guys looked at me and said, it's impossible, he's dead. When I got into the house, one of our seasoned paramedics out there looked up, and I could see fear in his face. He said, this is the same dance this morning. We're losing this guy. A young woman came up to me. She was holding out my arm, and she was...
I don't know why they're saying Ozzy Osbourne had 3 kids with his first wife. He only had 2. Oh no.
Suddenly, she let out a groan and collapsed right next to me. I knelt down and I turned her over, and as soon as I did, I looked into her eyes and they were fixed and dilated. When she gave me her breath and shelter, the same as the mother earlier, the same as the husband. I looked at the guy and said, who's that guy? Something's dead. 2 people, all in one family. I don't know what we're dealing with, so I thought of Helen Johnson. Helen Johnson was our health department chief nurse. One officers took her out to the house. They wanted to see if there's anything suspicious with the refrigerator, the maybe somebody had eaten with her, something toxic. There was nothing. And nobody hit the bathroom. And I found this bottle of extra strong Tylenol, which was brand new. And I laid it out on the counter. The rest of the actions were the same. And that's what victims. I said, the best you can.
Okay, I'm gonna be back. I'm waiting for the girl, so I'll be right back. Bye.